Hello and welcome to another Steps of Sussex live stream chat. And as you can tell, no, you do not need to adjust your sets. This is not Meghan walking down the aisle to marry Prince Harry. This is in fact me. Do not adjust your sets. Let's put this veil down. I want a moment where I can have a reveal. So, how you like me now? There we go. We have the Queen Mary's Diamond Bandeau Tiara with, of course, a beautiful white wedding veil because it is the 19th of May 2020 and it is the occasion of the second wedding anniversary of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Oh, I can't stop flapping with my veil. You know, this is what happens when you have a veil. You get a nice big... Anyway, right, this is a live chat, so I want to go straight first of all to find the chat room so I can see who's here. By the way, today's episode is going to be split into two parts. I'm going to make two separate videos. One is going to be on the book review that I promised yesterday. So once I've finished this video, I'll go off. I may adjust my attire. I don't know. And then I am going to do the book review. As I promised, I have 2 pages of notes on it, so I'll be doing that. But this video is about the wedding anniversary of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan. So first of all, let's go and see who is here. Ooh, I've got my sound on. Let's turn that down. There we go. I don't want any back sound going on. Right, hello and good morning to everybody who is able to make it. So, yeah, do we like the... I'm going to do it again. I like my reveal. So there we go. I'm walking down the aisle to marry Harry, and then woof, there we go. We have a beautiful veil swishing, don't we? Right. So just as I turned on to wish them a happy second wedding anniversary, I saw that there was an article published literally not long ago by Omids Article, which I'm going to read and look at because I haven't actually read it yet. I didn't have time. I literally discovered it as I was just about to come on. So I thought, why not do a live reaction to it? So the article says, Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan take the day off work to celebrate the anniversary as a family. So obviously, family unit being Archie. So yes, it's been 2 years since the Duke and Duchess of Sussex became husband and wife. And oh my goodness, such a lot has happened and changed since that day 2 years ago. I remember this time 2 years ago, my parents were on holiday. I watched the wedding from their house because it was better lighting for doing a stream, to make a video on it. So I watched it from my parents' house. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing. And afterwards, I found a copy of the Order of Service. So it's a long document. So I'm going to read a part of it, but I will post the link to it so you can relive that day if you want to. Obviously, you know, the DVD has been sold of the wedding, so I'm sure many of you have it, and many of you will be rewatching as well. There are also many numerous clips here on YouTube. So the article says, when Harry and Meghan stood in front of each other at the altar of St George's Chapel in Windsor Castle to exchange their vows, it was a moment shared by almost 2 billion people around the world. But as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex celebrate their second anniversary today, May the 19th, the audience will be decidedly smaller. And of course that is because they have taken the day off. Although the couple have been busy with work at their LA home, Bazaar.com understands that I wonder how they understand. I think Omid may have been told that Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan have made plans to take the day off on their second anniversary, enjoying a lovely, and I quote, lovely family moment with their 1-year-old son Archie. The day will be simply quality time with one another as a family. A source close to the couple tells Bazaar. They're not going to be doing any work and made sure they have no meetings or calls today. The couple have always made sure to mark their anniversary in a special way. Last year, Bazaar revealed that Harry had secretly worked with the renowned jeweller Lorraine Schwartz to surprise Meghan with a bespoke conflict-free diamond eternity band, which is the one that everybody noticed, with birthstones for himself, Meghan and Archie on the underside of the delicate piece. And lots of people, I remember at the time, did comment that they suspected before it was confirmed that those that those birthstones did represent Meghan, Archie and himself. He quotes, "Like everyone else, they are in lockdown at the moment, so they will just be hanging out together at home," says the source. We do not know who the source is. But it will still be a lovely day. The short moment of rest will also be much deserved for the couple who have been feverishly working away behind the scenes on their various charitable endeavours, carrying out volunteer work, which we've seen, and planning future projects. So we do know work is underway. But while the majority of their meetings have taken place over Zoom calls, again, we've seen many examples of that, working from home hasn't stopped the couple from making an impact. For Archie's first birthday on May the 6th, Meghan joined Save the Children's Save with Stories initiative to help raise urgent funds for children and families hit hardest by the coronavirus by reading Duck Rabbit. And I still haven't got my copy in. I ordered it so that I could read to my kitten, which, I get my kitten on Saturday. So I was hoping Duck Rabbit might come in before then, but it hasn't. Anyway, yes, that video was of course filmed by Harry. You could hear him in the background. The 2.5-minute clip has been watched over 9 million times on official accounts and quickly became the largest news day for Save the Children in their 100-year history. Even initiative co-founder and Save the Children ambassador Jennifer Garner's thank you note to the couple became one of her most liked Instagram story posts ever. And there we go. So no information exactly on how they're going to be spending their day, what they're going to be doing, but they are going to be spending it privately as a family unit with Archie. Let's just see what people are saying. Oh, by the way, I invite you all in the comment section below, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on catch-up, to wish the Duke and Duchess of Sussex a very happy second wedding anniversary. Who knows? Who knows who's watching? We don't know. Maybe we have royal viewers. I don't know. Maybe I'm... Ooh, is that better? Is that more Meghan? I think it might be. Yes, Beth H says, happy anniversary, Harry and Meghan. God bless you and keep inspiring us. Thanks for this. And good morning and hello to everybody who is watching at the moment. Lots of people saying congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations and happy wedding anniversary to you. Right, I am going to post a link. I will post a link in the description once I've gone off live as well. This is to the official order of service of the day. So I want to kind of relive some of the highlights of the day. So here is the link to the official page. Now I'm on page 7. So I've skipped a lot of it. There is a lot of information about the music and a little bit of history about St George's Chapel, but I want to read the order of service primarily. So, at 11:25 a.m, members of the royal family arrive at the Galilee porch and are received by the Dean of Windsor, who presents the Canoi of Windsor and the Archbishop of Canterbury. Those in the choir stand as they are conducted to their places. Then everybody sat down. At 11:40 a.m, the bridegroom and his best man, of course William and Harry, arrive at the west door and are received by the Dean of Windsor. All stand as the bridegroom and his best man are conducted to the Bray Chantry Chapel. And who can forget, of course, when Harry and William walked down towards the chapel in their amazing, gorgeous military uniforms, that they looked smart, they looked handsome, and they were all set for the big day. At 11:42 a.m, their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, arrive at the Galilee porch and are received by the Vice Dean, who presents the Canons of Windsor and the Archbishop of Canterbury. Those in the choir stand as they are conducted to their places. At 11:45, the mother of the bride arrives, who of course is Miss Doria Ragland. She arrived at the same porch and was received by the Dean of Windsor and was conducted to her seat in the choir. Now, who can forget the arrival of Doria? I think most people really wanted to see Doria and what she's wearing. We did see a little bit prior to that. I remember there was some footage broadcast of Doria. I think she was helping Meghan into the car before Doria set off, and she looked amazing. I said this back at the time, and I'll say it again now. I actually think out of all of the royal attendants and non-royal attendants, I actually think that Doria looked the most regal out of everybody. Out of all the members of the royal family, I think Doria pretty much outshone most of the outfits on that occasion. Of course, she was wearing Oscar de la Renta and that lovely kind of green tone. I don't know how you describe the tone, but it was a beautiful, beautiful green. She looked amazing. She looked fabulous. She looked glowing. And who can forget that look of pride on her face? And also the interaction between Charles and Doria as well, when Charles took a hand and they walked in whilst Meghan and Harry were signing the register. It was all really lovely, but Doria definitely shone. And yeah, I would probably go as far as saying that I think Doria was the best dressed of the day. And I think in all the photos, she actually looked the most royal out of all of them. She had poise, she had elegance, she had grace, she had dignity, and she had pride. And she wore all of that in her clothes, on her face, from the tiniest tip of her hair to the tiniest end of her toes. She was impeccable for that day. Then at 11:52 a.m, Her Majesty the Queen arrives at the porch and is received by the Dean and the Canons of Windsor and the Archbishop of Canterbury. Those in the choir stand as Her Majesty is conducted to her place in the choir. Then a fanfare sounded. Everyone stood as the choir and the clergy moved in procession to the choir. Then there was the choir of St George's Chapel, the director of music, and then it just goes on saying who everyone is. Then everyone sits down. Then everyone stands for the entrance of the bride. And who can forget when Meghan got out of the car and there she was, that beautiful, beautiful, amazing gown. And she just looked incredible. It was simple lines, a nice, elegant veil. Of course, the Queen Mary's diamond bandeau tiara proudly on display. And of course, at that point, she was very, very much, where's my veil? Here we go. She was very, very much kind of this kind of way, with the tiara, of course. And then, obviously, afterwards, she emerged with the veil down. So yeah, she looked stunning. The bride, having been greeted by the Dean of Windsor, moves in procession through the nave. Now, this is where the order of service wasn't changed, because, of course, we had alterations to who was walking Meghan down the aisle. We had all the kerfuffle with Thomas Markle, which we're not going to go into now, but still on the official order of service, because this was released just a day before, it says she is joined by her father, Thomas Markle, to the high altar. Now, of course, that did not happen. That did not transpire. What actually happened was alternative arrangements were made. Prince Charles stepped in and escorted Meghan for that final journey down the aisle to join Harry. Then there was the introit that was performed by the orchestra and Miss Ellen Munchin Thomas, who was a soprano, with Mr. David Blackadder on trumpet. Then there was the words eternal, source of light divine, with double warmth thy beams display, and with distinguished glory shine, to add a lustre to this day. Everyone remained standing. The Dean greeted the congregation. He said, the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you and also with you. God is love, and those who live in love live in God, and God lives in them. And that was from John 4:16. Everyone sat, and then there is a big, long preface. I'll start reading it, but I won't read all of it. So, in the presence of God, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, we have come together to witness the marriage of Henry Charles Albert David and Rachel Meghan, to pray for God's blessings on them, and to share their joy and to celebrate their love. And then there's a big, long spiel. Then we have the hymn, Lord of all hopelessness, Lord of all joy. I won't read all of it. That's page 10. Then we have the declarations, where they ask if anyone knows of any lawful impediment, please declare it now. Nobody did, thank goodness. Then they made the vows. So I'm going to read the vows. So, Harry, will you take Meghan to be your wife? Will you love her, comfort her, honour and protect her? And forsaking all others, be faithful to her as long as you both shall live? He answers, I will. And then Meghan, will you take Harry to be your husband? Will you love him, comfort him, honour and protect him? And forsaking all others, be faithful to him as long as you both shall live? She answered, I will. Then it came to, will you, the families and friends of Harry and Meghan, support and uphold them in their marriage now and in the years to come? Everyone answered, we will. Then there was a few more readings, and there was one by Diana's sister, Harry's aunt, the Lady Jane Fellows. I won't go through all of that because there's quite a lot to read, but like I say, have a perusal of this at leisure. I will post the link in the description. Right, then we got to the vows. Harry and Meghan, I now invite you to join hands and make your vows in the presence of God and his people. I, Harry, take you, Meghan, to be my wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death us do part, according to God's holy law. In the presence of God, I make this vow. And then Meghan said, I, Meghan, take you, Harry, and it's the same words. Then they loose hands. Then it was the giving of the rings, which took place. I give you these rings as a sign of our marriage. Both of them say that. Then the proclamation. In the presence of God and before this congregation, Harry and Meghan have given their consent and made their marriage vows to each other. They have declared their marriage by the joining of hands and by the giving and receiving of rings. I therefore proclaim that they are husband and wife. And there it was. That was the moment they were husband and wife. Then the anthem was played, and then it was the blessing of the marriage. Then there were some prayers, which I'm not going to read all of it because there's too much. There was another hymn, another blessing, and there we go. Then it was the national anthem, and then the procession of the bride and bridegroom, and that was all to different various musics, which are detailed in the link that I will put. But interspersed with that, we also had the amazing cellist. We also had the preacher as well, who was an unforgettable sermon from him. I mean, who can forget? That candle was nearly falling off. I actually thought, oh my goodness, is St. George's going to go up in flame with the candle? You know, he was so animated and inspirational. That candle was nearly whizzing off on the floor. I remember it wobbling on the altar, and I was like, I hope someone has a bucket of water handy, not for him, but for the candle if it should spill. But yeah, and who can forget the look on certain royal family faces whilst that sermon was going on? It was definitely something that that had never been seen, had never been done at a royal wedding in this country before. That kind of a sermon, that kind of preaching style is not common. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not a commonplace way to conduct a wedding. So it really was the merging of two cultures, of two families, of two households, of two very distinct worlds. And at that point, that is where it met. And for a lot of people, that is when the monarchy was kind of renewed in a way and almost updated, almost brought in. And I remember at the time, there was so much goodwill for Harry and Meghan. The majority of, I mean, who can forget all the people watching on TV, the people lining for the carriage procession afterwards, on the return back to Windsor Castle. There were so many cheers. There was so much goodwill for Harry and Meghan on that day. I think people were generally really welcome of Meghan coming in. Now, things obviously turned very, very quickly with the media, which we're not going to get into in this video. I'll save that for my next video when I do the book review. But you know, things have changed. Things have changed most definitely over those 2 years. But the wedding day was glorious itself. People were rejoicing. People were happy. And I think there was so much goodwill from the people who support the monarchy even being there in the first place. Let's not forget the monarchy only exists because of the goodwill of the people. And people, the general population, were very welcoming of Meghan coming into the family. And I'll touch on behind the palace scenes when I get to this one. But I'm talking about the majority of people were very, very welcoming of Harry and Meghan. All the cheers, all the support was all there. So I'm going to go. Chiming in says, oh my God, look at you. Don't I look glorious? I am channeling independent woman. That's what I am channeling today. Am I channeling it well? V-Brain says, the merging of the two cultures was a beautiful thing to see. It was. And I think for a lot of people, it held a lot of optimism. It held a lot of hope. And also, it for people who may have, from marginal communities, people from disadvantaged backgrounds, it showed that, you know, you didn't have to be born of high birth. You didn't have to be from a prominent position initially. That just by, you know, hard work and determination, you can achieve what Meghan had achieved with her career. But also just by following true love and, you know, not, you know, flying in the face of old misheld conceptions, that you could do it, that you could achieve. And I think sometimes it's all about when you see people up there, that is when representation happens and you can inspire people. And, you know, that it's not just for certain types of people, that anybody can it's open to everybody. And it did open up the monarchy to so many people. At that time, that is when, you know, myself, I noticed so many more people coming in and looking at the royal family because of Meghan. Meghan brought a lot of attention from the world, from the Commonwealth, into the royal family. She really did, you know, highlight that it's not just for one particular type of person, that it's for everybody. Anybody can be a part of it. And I think for many people, she represented hope and optimism for things to come. Things changed. I mean, things have changed in 2 years in terms of where things have gone. But at that time, at that day, there was a lot of hope and optimism and inclusion. I've just seen a word pop up. Yes, inclusion. That is the word. Denia says, you're channeling perfectly. Am I channeling strong, independent, busy woman? That's what I'm doing. Kathy says, you look stunning. Well, thank you. Magna says, the bride was beautiful in her minimalistic elegance. Only decoration was the veil and tiara. Great day for everyone. And Charles stepped up as the prince he is supposed to be when he took Doria's hand. He did. I actually thought it was a really rousing moment when we got to see, you know, Charles with Doria. And it's like one of those moments where, you know, something like that shouldn't be rousing, because, you know, it should be something that's just normal, if you know what I mean. But, you know, the fact that it was, and it inspired a lot of people, and it was good. It was good for the nation. It was good for everyone to see that going on. Chiming in says, I was so hopeful and thought they were doing a wonderful job. And V says, it's really sad the inclusion was not allowed to stand. Well, tune into my next video where I will be touching on, well, I won't just be touching, I will be talking about many topics. So tune into my next video on that. Right, have I missed any really good comments? Let's have a look. Lots of people saying happy 2nd anniversary. Zlee said the Commonwealth on Meghan's veil was to die for. Yes, all the flowers. I almost forgot to mention. Mine sadly doesn't have all the Commonwealth flowers, but the Commonwealth flowers were amazing. Also, the Californian poppy was added. And by the way, I am growing Californian poppies in my garden. So if you have not seen my weekly vlog on Elliot and Matt's British Life YouTube channel, tune in because I am growing from seed Californian poppies. Catherine says, Mother of the Bride, Queen Doria looked so beautiful and moved with grace and pride. Black excellence in display. Yes, she looked amazing. She looked absolutely stunning, and I loved the photo. I loved all the group photos as well afterwards. And it was really, really, I think, important. I think that's the right word, important to a lot of people to see Doria next to the Queen, and you know, in that setting, it was important. It was a historic moment, and I think that should never, ever, ever be overlooked. It was important to a lot of people. It was special. It was inspiring. It was powerful to have that representation there at the highest echelons of British society. She has played a key part, I think, in British history just by being herself. And like I said before, you know, it shouldn't be that way, but just by being herself, she has played a key, important role, I think, in British history. And that will never, ever change, and that will never, ever be taken away from Doria. Sasha says, Harry also made it possible that marrying into the royal family is... Oh my goodness, look, oh my goodness, I'm actually crying. Oh no, I didn't want this to happen. Oh, when I was talking about Doria. Oh dear. I need a tissue. Oh, seriously. No, but it was just really inspiring for a lot of people, and it was really, really good to kind of just to see that and to see that happening. And it was played out in front of the world, in front of the Commonwealth, and everyone had such hope and optimism, and yeah. Oh, seriously. Oh dear, right. Maybe I should go and set up for my next video. I don't know. But yeah, just Doria being herself, being there, was really inspirational for those people who had never had any representation. And I really, really feel strongly that it was just amazing. It was a really, really, really wonderful day just to see Doria there. I think she had the most grace, the most poise, and the most elegance of everyone out there. And I was glad, I have been really, really glad that Meghan has been a part of the royal family in a full working capacity that she has for the time that we had her. I think she has made a really big impact, and that will never, ever, ever, ever be forgotten. Ever. And yet, Stand By Me. Who can forget the amazing choir? Again, it was the representation of the two worlds meeting one another, and yeah, it was amazing. I need a tissue. Tears of a drag queen. I'm mopping my tears with the veil. Like, seriously. Merlene says, stop it. I have a rule. Nobody cries around me. I'm trying. Right, okay. I think I'm okay now. Yes, it was glorious. It really, really was. V says, Stand By Me. The way Prince Harry and Meghan held each other's hands was a strong message that they were facing the world together against all odds. It was. Right, I'm going to go now. I need to sort out this face, or else it will be tear-streamed forever and ever and ever. I will come back in about, I don't know, 20 minutes, and I will, maybe 20, 30 minutes, and I will do my review of the book that I read. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you to Sean. Right, I'm going to go now. So I want to wish Harry and Meghan the very, very best, happiest second wedding anniversary they could possibly have. I hope they do, just as Omids reported, I hope they do spend it privately, quietly, as a family with Archie. So if you've enjoyed this video, apart from the bit with me crying, having some kind of breakdown, do give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, and I'll see you in a little while.